everyone. Welcome yet again to another review for all of you guys here at Real In Films. And before we start our review, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like that, you guys can be up to date with anything and everything movie related and or series related. And I do got to say that today's review is going to be kind of different. And not different in the way that it's something that we have not covered before. But instead of this being like a documentary, this is not only a documentary about a sport. This is a love letter to the sport. This is a way how to show new people about this sport and its history. And today we're going to be reviewing the documentary Pay Dirt, the story of Supercross, directed by Paul Talbleed. I'm sorry if I destroyed your last name. And as well, if you guys want to, you guys can pass by. We do have a great interview with him right here in the cards that you guys can check it out before this review. We talk about the film. We talk about every nicks and details that I had like kind of doubts on how he got those shots and how he found this footage. But let's go ahead and go to the review. So this film is a history of Supercross. So how it started. And I like how the film feels because this film feels like if it was divided into 4 parts. We start with the history of Supercross, how it started, how these two big pinnacle people from the motocross and I would say racing industry became or become these pinnacle, very important people that brought these different type of sports. Because one of them that was Michelin brought in what it was like in-house racing, like what we see now, like in NASCAR, and then I don't have on the top of my head the name of the one that like brought Supercross to like a closed setting, but himself brought this sport up to flourishing. The fact that in the first part of the film feels like a history lesson, or that's what at least you think it will feel like, but it's not. It's just how powerful this idea of bringing a sport to the United States, it became a phenomenon. And not only a phenomenon, how the first race that was the first ticket show race went ahead and some U.S. American went ahead and won a race against a bunch of people from, I think it was from Germany and Europe, where they were the ones that were like the creme of this sport when it was starting. And not only you get the crisp footage, you get great interviews or audio interviews and key moments in history, but not only that, Paul goes ahead and gives us the controversy behind of what happened with the owner of like these major events of Supercross and how Supercross evolved from something very small to have major athletes and legends in this sport. And as well, one of the other things that they focus on this documentary or love letter, because I do have to call it a love letter. It's more than a documentary. It is a love letter to Supercross. So the greatest feeling of this documentary is that you don't feel like it's a documentary. You're watching literally a film. You're watching key moments of very important pieces of history of Supercross. And besides the fact that we got the history, and we do go back and forth with the history of Supercross, but we touch bases on different sense. So this film focuses as well in accidents. It focuses on athletes. It focuses on the underdogs. It focuses as well in the amateur league, how each and one of these things are key moments and very important things in regards to the industry, in regards to the sport. One of the things that I was that caught my eye and my attention a lot is the story of one of the riders. So we do have an interview with him as well. we do interview Jimmy Buttons. He is a legend of Supercross. He became a legend when it was basically starting. Jimmy, while in his practices, he goes ahead and has an accident that not only put a stop on his career. A lot of medical attentions and doctors told him that he won't be able to walk or to drive a motorcycle or anything, because in this case, quote unquote, he was not supposed to walk again or anything. But due to his will and positivity, he showed these doctors and specialists that no, that's not how he rolls. And if you guys want to see more details in regards to his story, his foundation, and much more about the film, go to this interview as well here in the cards. But Pay Dirt, the Supercross story, not only brings a little bit of everything of Supercross. Like I mentioned, this is a love letter to the sport. This documentary is phenomenal. The fact that Paul went to the max to get some certain footage from the racers, from these athletes, and not only from the athletes, how he took camera angles in ways that you thought that weren't possible, but taking a risk to be able to do it is phenomenal. I gotta say that Paul took this to a whole nother level. Now, not only that, I think that this is the main topping of this documentary. It's not only the fact that we are seeing athletes, we're seeing young kids following this sport, we're seeing legends become coaches, we're seeing a controversy that didn't affect the sport at all. Probably a couple of lives, but the sport kept moving forward. But the main topping of all this documentary is that it's narrated by Josh Brolin. While speaking to Paul, he told me about Josh Brolin's book and as well how Josh Brolin got into the project and how he met him. And he says that Josh Brolin not only said yes to this project, but Josh Brolin rides bikes as well for fun. And he says that he's just a normal guy, even though we all know Josh Brolin is Thanos and Cable. But being the fact that Josh Brolin is behind this project brings so much to the table, because when you hear his voice explaining everything, how the history went on, how these athletes move forward, how their bodies are always in maximum capacity due to how this sport drains them round by round. Because yes, probably NBA, NFL, they all have their nicks and picks, but in Supercross, they do explain in the documentary how Supercross uses every inch of your body as, technically speaking, a weapon to be able to win and move that bike ways that you don't know. This film is, like I keep saying, it's not only a documentary. This film, with its shots, with its narration, with the interviews, how intimate they went with each and one of the athletes behind the sport, how as well the underdogs, the privateers, how that their story can impact you, somebody that does not know about the sport. This documentary is a must watch. It's such an amazing, gorgeous film that when I had the chance to watch it, I watched it multiple times. Because again, the way that Paul brought to life these motorcycle stunts, or how these athletes ride, is phenomenal. And I gotta say that you guys have to check it out. So the film Pay Dirt, the story of Supercross, is an amazing film. First film for us to cover this 2025. Super excited about it. Thank you for all of you for joining our journey here at Reel In Films. Thank you for all of you that have subscribed, your comments, and everything. Thank you very much. And nothing, guys, if you guys want to keep supporting us, it's easy. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, and comment on all of our videos, and check them out whenever you can. We are working our way to be able to be available for all of you in podcast form as well. So pay attention for this year. for minor changes. So I think, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and or night if you're watching this at night. And we will see you all in the next one.